Yeah, I'm just so glad you found it. Would be what I tell them. Like, don't deny the fact that you found it. I will never forget. It was the day after Thanksgiving, and my dad called and he said, "Hey, I was Googling, I was looking on the internet for some things, and I think you might be interested in something I found. I sent you a link." My dad did this. And I didn't wait more than a couple of days till after the weekend that I reached out to you, and that's when we first connected. And so, I mean, I would just say that there is nothing else like this. There is no other community like this that exists. Um, but I just, I celebrate the fact that if a father's watching this, then it's, hey man, it's your foot in the door. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to be part of something much bigger than any one of us individually. But I think um, as a result of the time that we've spent together and the time that I've spent with 100K fathers, my world is significantly different than that Thanksgiving day. Um, I've only had one of those days since, and it's on 9 months after a couple of years of some really hard days. So I'd say those are pretty good numbers. I live in Texas, just north of Dallas, and I started the divorce process in 2017. The divorce was finalized in the middle of 2018, a little over a year. Um, Relationship with the girls when I was part of that nuclear family prior to 2017 is I had tremendous relationship, spent a lot of my personal time with them. Um, as the more time that passed with the divorce process, the more and more I both saw signs of, and just clearly the girls didn't want to spend time with me or with my new wife also, and so it's been since first June ish last year that I haven't talked to my oldest Sophia, who's now 19, and it's been about a year and a half now since April of last year that I haven't spoken to my youngest. So I would speak to the three kind of maybe the three things that I feel like I've taken most. I'm going to start with least and get to most. So not least in a bad way, but if I were to stack rank them, I would say that the videos that are available. I feel very fortunate because I wasn't there when it happened, or I couldn't be there if it's happened more recently. And I think being able to hear from kids, as an example, hear from specialists. Uh, Again, it's a world that I've kind of been alone in, so this is all a nice way to consume that information. So I think having the resource there and access at any point in time, if I can't sleep at night, it's there, right? First thing in the morning, when my head's clear, it's there. I think the second thing is the calls with the fathers. I think that it's um, so much has changed since I went through the divorce and I don't get to see the girls. It's the people that I hung out with, the circles that I literally ran in. Um, but we're all kind of associated with that kind of nuclear family, um, and I've kind of felt out of balance since then. I think there's a balance that comes with another community, a different community that exists within this group. So I think that's what I take. The most sort of the thing that has impacted me most, I think, is the time one on one with you, actually. Um, I mean, that's absolutely sincerely that you've got some really powerful insights based on your working knowledge, based on your experience, based on how well read you are. And I think the way that you connect the dots is you take a lot of complexity and really break it down into some simple terms that even a guy like me can understand. And so if someone were to say, what are you most appreciative of? I'm most appreciative of the time that you and I have spent, and the insights that you've helped me understand better, helped me see. Even with people who I was close to, I still felt very alone in this journey. And and that was really hard. And I think, in our first conversation, there was enough spoken that I understood that I wasn't alone, but it wasn't until I started listening to the videos and the stories, and until I started attending some of the meetings, getting to know some of the other fathers, that that it really kind of clicked that, all right, this is something that yeah, is substantial, but it's not something that's uncommon, that there are other people out there. And so I think that's the first thing that comes to mind with the welcome. I think the other part would be, um, and be patient, but recognize there's far more to it than just not being alone. That this is not about coming to a community and complaining and being sad and people trying to pick you up. And there are, of course, elements of that, but this is really more about an introspective look at who I am, how I'm living. And when questions come up, there are fathers who have insights that I don't have because they have experiences that I don't have. And by hearing those experiences, it gives me a different level of confidence to think about the bigger picture and to think about um, how to take full advantage of the current time when I don't have the time with my girls, so that when they do arrive, um, I'm someone that they want to meet.